What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Bible Business Plan podcast. I'm excited because I got me a guest. I got me a guest on the microphone today. It's not just me preaching to you. It's my buddy Dan Moyle as well. How you doing, Dan?
Man, better than I deserve, brother. Better than I deserve.
Amen to that, man. I say that every day, man. I was out I took my kids down the street. You know, it's Wednesday right now. We're recording. It's about 11 o'clock, middle of the week, middle of the day. Put my kids in the truck, put my dogs in the truck. We drove up here to, I'm a member of like a big wilderness reserve or something up here. Just went for a walk, man. Just walking down gravel roads for an hour in the middle of the day, middle of the week.
Isn't that amazing?
If you don't get to do that except by the grace of God, I'm telling you right now. You know what I mean?
Amen. Absolutely.
So listen, Dan, I know all about you.
Yeah.
Tell everybody listening to the Bible Business Plan podcast, what do you do? How are you involved in entrepreneurship, business, things like that, and what you do for a living?
Yeah, I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. I always thought I need to work for somebody because I need direction.
I need that too. That's why I work for my wife. That's why my wife's my business partner. You know.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. That's why I'm married, so that I still have direction. But I started working not too long ago with a guy named Tom for a company called Interview Valet, and Tom is an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. This guy loves to start businesses and think of something new, create this category king. And so I still work for somebody, but it's just myself and him as the employees. Well, actually, I'm the only employee. And we have some contract workers that are folks that do the dirty work, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I'm basically one of only a couple of people in this company, which I'd love.
For sure.
So yeah, Interview Valet, basically we help our clients get on focused, purposeful podcasts to spread their message, whether they're a speaker, an author, a business person, whatever it is. And one of our tenets is faith in Christianity. That's one of our pillars. So yeah, I love what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you work from home, right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a remotely. Where's it's Tom Schwab, and where's Tom at? He's in.
Tom is just outside of Kalamazoo, Michigan.
That's right.
In a town called Lawton, Madawan.
I gotcha. Well, I have to say, full disclosure here, we are clients of the old Interview Valet service, and they do a great job. Great people. It's hard to find great people to have rapport with, especially as a Christian entrepreneur, right? And like Jocelyn and I seek out people like that because you just mesh better. And it's awesome stuff. And I get no endorsement check from Interview Valet at all. We don't do that. You know how we do roll over to Flip Lifestyle. We don't do affiliates or anything like that. So
that's right.
They're just good peeps. Now,
well, thanks, man. Thanks.
All right. So we've established that we've got, a Christian-based business. You're working with a Christian entrepreneur. You're a Christian business person. So the Bible is going to be very important in your values and your mission and your philosophy.
Yeah.
So let's jump into your favorite Bible verse that has business implications. We always throw that in there because, when they were writing the Bible, they didn't have the internet. They didn't have online business and e-commerce and all that stuff. But these lessons that we take into our life have huge implications biblically. And the Bible talks a lot about business and how we should relationally deal with each other through the Bible and through business. So what is your favorite business Bible verse?
Yeah, I gave this quite a lot of thought, actually, after you and I had talked at one point on a conversation. You wanted to do this podcast, and you kind of threw that out there, and I thought, man, I have what I consider my verse actually tattooed on my arm, but it's not necessarily business. And so I started thinking about it, and I thought, if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to find the right one. And it came to me so easily, actually. I didn't have to go searching that hard. And it's funny how the Bible works that way, and how God just kind of smacks you in the face sometimes, right?
Right.
My Bible verse for business, and really it applies to life for me anyway. Matthew 20:28. Even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many. I'm certainly not ready to give my life as a ransom for all my friends and clients.
Or your business clients. Especially knuckleheads like us that are always calling you and asking for stuff, right?
Well, for you, I'd consider it a little more. I think you do the same.
Right.
So it may not be a literal ransom, but I think in that figurative way, I love to serve others. I think servant leadership is so overlooked in the world. So often those who have the giant me egos tend to get all the press and all the, they're so good and blah, blah, blah. And, I really think that servant leadership is the way to go. And so it spoke to me that even the Son of Man came not to be served. Jesus didn't come to out of heaven and don a person suit and be a baby to be served. He came to actually serve us. And so why don't we do that? So as a business person, I love the idea that I don't do marketing for me. I do marketing for somebody like you, Shane, and somebody, who's our client, who I'm going to help you do what you do. I'm going to serve you, and that's going to, serve us eventually. But I just love the idea of serving, and it bleeds over into so many other parts of my life too. So
yeah, and it's weird, like you say that, because like, man, it is like, especially all the hype machine that runs business. Like you said, the people with the egos, the people with the thing, and like you see these commercials on YouTube and on Facebook, and they're all like, I'm about to walk in this Bentley dealership and buy my Bentley in 5 minutes, or oh, I'm walking into my 16,000 square foot mansion that I rented on Airbnb for the weekend to film this video. I'm walking in, I throw my keys in, I'm almost sit back on my couch, or like they roll up in their. It's like, it's all about them. It's all about what they've done. It's all about the money, and like, but what if our businesses really were built on service? Like, because man, you can't not make money when you're serving people. That's going to happen if you serve people. But if you're just chasing paper, you're going to get screwed up. It's gonna you're totally going to get like off the railroad tracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I also think about our business, Flip Lifestyle. Like Jocelyn and I created a product-based business that we sold so that we could work totally in Flip Lifestyle to serve other people, to help other people do what we did, work 9 to 5s, things like that. And I can say in my own life, like the most important thing that happens when you serve people, you get so much gratification seeing them succeed, and I'm sure you do that as well.
Oh yeah. Well, and even, if it certainly applies to business, but it also applies, I work with a nonprofit outside of work too. And I've taught my 2 daughters to serve. My wife and I do this in our church and the nonprofit we work with World War II veterans and Korean War veterans. And you want to talk about serving with no expectation of anything back. I mean, 95-year-old men and women aren't going to give you anything, right?
No.
You're doing it to give them, but they give us so much. And I even get goosebumps and start getting choked up just mentioning it because their smiles, their thank yous, the fact that we serve to them, because they've already served. We're just serving them now. And so, yeah, I love the fact that the Bible tells us that God came to earth to serve.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, I'm gonna try and live like Jesus, man. That's gonna be my goal. I fall short a lot.
Oh, we all do. We all do, man. But like,
right?
And we can all get caught up in that hype machine and chasing the wrong things. And I had a story. I got a great story that matches up so good with this. Yeah. Like the other day, a buddy of mine that was actually coming on this podcast, right? And we were interviewing and talking. Well, his wife, came in and jumped in the camera and said, "Hey, Shane, how you doing?" And she mentors and works with like the parole board for the juvenile system up in Detroit. Okay. And basically she said like, oh, there's this kid and we were trying to set goals and he didn't even know what he wanted to do with his life. He's getting in trouble and he's going down the wrong path. Nothing bad yet, but it's coming. Right. So they're trying to get him to think about his life 5 years from now, 50 years from now, 30 years from now. And they were like, well, what do you dream? What do you know? And he didn't have any dreams. Right. And so he was like, so they were like, well, where do you want to live? And he's like, man, I would love to live. So this sparked him up. And he said, I want to live outside the city. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, oh man, I'd love to have a house and I'd love to have a bunch of land and trees. And he's like, I'd like to not even be able to see my neighbors. Right. So she goes and he's like, but places like that don't even exist. And she's like, no, they do. She's like, I've got a friend named Shane. That's us. We have 30 acres. We got a lake behind our house. We've got exactly what he said. Like, you can't see our neighbors because we live out in the country, man. And like, so she was telling me about this, and we had made a video when we bought this place for our community to see, the new place we had lived in. Long story behind that, why we did that. But anyway, we had this on YouTube, and when she said this to me, I was like, well, don't just show him the video. I said, let me record him a 15-minute video. I'll talk. I said, because I used to be a knucklehead, man, when I was a kid. Dude, I got picked up. I mean, I used to get picked up for stupid crap every once in a while. And, I was, if people talk to me now, my teachers, and they're like, are you sure you're Shane Sams? No way. I thought you'd be in jail by now. You know what I mean? And, but I did. I sent this 15-minute video to this kid because from a servant's heart, you know what I'm saying? It was like, no, I need to talk to this kid. I need to take my time. I need to do this for this kid so that he can, see someone real behind it and get some benefit out of it. I don't want it to just be, hey, you can buy a big house in 30 acres. I want it to be, no, dude, it's get your life right, get straight, do that. That's how you make things happen. And I think of all these people I see online that quote unquote are balling, right? And they're telling you spend every minute of your day, hustle and grind, make that money, get that client. Would they take 15 minutes out for other people? I don't know. I don't know if they've got the servant's heart that we're talking about here.
Right.
Not to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, like, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. Well, and certainly, I mean, I'm selfish. I get angry and hurt when my wife doesn't say the exact right thing or whatever. I'm selfish. It's only by the grace of God that I have a servant's heart.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's him. Just I'm able to at least open myself up to it, and then he takes over.
It's like a shield almost, like against the egomania that runs rampant in business and the greed that can come into your life. If you're wrapped in the Word and you're wrapped in God, you can be a servant.
Totally.
Good stuff, man. Well, that's a great Bible verse. I'm so glad that you shared that with our audience today. I know there's a lot of people listening that are just like us, struggling sometimes to be servant leaders, but we need to just model Jesus, man. Don't model Gary Vee and all these famous people or whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to model anybody else except Jesus. He's the ultimate business owner, baby. Right?
Amen. Absolutely.
He's our CEO. So, all right, real quick, tell everybody where they can get a hold of you online and maybe where they can connect with Interview Valet.
Yeah, interviewvalet.com is our website. And actually, what I'll do is I'll throw up a page for us on the business Bible, right? It's so it'll be interviewvalet.com/Bible. And I'll have it there, and they can find me, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. Have a little bit of a video on service and servant leadership and serving our senior generations. I gave a talk at a conference, and it's okay. It's no Gary Vee chat, but
right, exactly. No hour-long speech on changing the earth kind of deal.
Right.
It's just changing a veteran's life, baby. That's still good, man. That's just
so there you go. So
yeah,
look right there.
Thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks, Shay, man. I appreciate it, brother.
All right, cool.